Welcome on in to another episode of Attract Mode. Now, if you're new here, we're Lady Arcaders and we're an all women's gaming collective. We run weekly showcases and the occasional charity event, and we're so excited to have you with us. And tell you what, if you want, you can absolutely join our cozy community Discord because we also have an event going on in there right now where they're all watching along with you in chat and in the Discord because we are going to have one heck of a time this episode. This episode is a continuation of a series that we started last year called No Wrong Weft, where Aalaizah, our wonderful our wonderful tech team member and also the performer of the showcase, started by designing the Lady Arcaders arcade cabinet. And now we're going to see what happens when you put that in a cross stitch. So, folks, I hope you're all cozy, you've got your drinks ready, hot or cold, because Aalaizah, start your thread.
Hey everybody, I'm Aalaizah, and I'm gonna be cross-stitching. This has been a while since I've done this on stream, so it might be a little special, but we'll work through it. And with me I've got Schala.
Hello, everyone. I'm SchalaKitty. I am here for commentary. I am someone who's been doing crafting for a very long time, has been a professional crafter, an Etsy seller. I love cross stitch, even though it's something that I haven't been able to do in a little while. I have my own pattern that I'm working on, mainly just to kind of keep up with the vibe. But I'm super happy to be here. I love all the wonderful work that Aalaizah does. She's an excellent, excellent embroidery artist. So I'm really happy to be back here and supporting.
So yeah,
You're
so
welcome.
last episode we designed this this pattern. Words are hard, cool. So I'm gonna get started. I went ahead and I prepped my fabric beforehand because it's kind of boring to watch. Basically, I use masking tape around the edges to make sure that the fabric doesn't fray, because it's very easy to fray the fabric. And then this time I stitched my grid. This is the first time I'm trying this. I don't know how I feel about it, but my usual markers weren't working, so I was like, well, I need a grid because I can't do it without a grid anymore. So here we are. So I've got my thread. Before we start, I wanted to give everybody a tip. If you're using the DMC brand thread, there's two sides that there are like ends of the string to. You want to use the side next to the number, because for whatever reason, if you pull from this side, it doesn't knot as much as if you pull it from the other side. So, big tip of the day. So I've got my first amount cut here.
What color are we starting with?
This is the royal blue.
Ooh,
and
nice.
I just realized I just wanted to change. There we go. Now y'all can see that better.
Nice. Would you let everyone know what I'm sure you probably talked about this in the previous episode, but what stitching program are we working in?
So this is WinStitch.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different stitching programs. I actually, normally when I make patterns with WinStitch, I actually just print the pattern out, but figured it's much easier to show off everything just using the app itself. It's also kind of nice because I'm not clicked into it. Wait, where? There we go. I can hit a hotkey, and then, so these are all of the stitches of the royal blue. That way it's easier for me to see what I'm doing. Somewhere. My needle.
Yeah, with so what count of Ida are we working on for yours, Aalaizah?
I'm doing 14 count.
Okay, I am also working on 14 count. And for folks who don't know too much about cross-stitching, the most common fabric that you're going to be cross-stitching on is called Ida. It is a very nice even cloth that is designed specifically for cross-stitch. And when we talk about count, that's basically how many squares are there per inch. The higher the count, the larger the squares. 14 is pretty much your standard Ida. Have you ever gone like up to like some of the higher counts?
So I've been doing some things on 18 count recently.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I like it as much. I'm going to try 16 count next, because I just kind of jumped up from 14 count to 18. And, like,
Gotcha.
It's cool how much smaller you can make the designs, but also it's a little small for me.
Yeah, I was okay with 16. I liked 16 for when I was doing cross-stitch patterns based off of sprites, since sprites also tend to use like 16 as a base. So it was kind of nice to have that alignment. But overall, I like 14 count because it's fairly nice for counting.
Yeah. Domino.
I
Are
just
you
have
gonna
to
come say
I
hi?
appreciate you going into the detail about what the counts are, because as we established in the green room leading into the showcase, I am a complete cross-stitch newbie.
Well, what I was sort of saying, and I'll definitely say it for chat too, if you would like to learn about embroidery, cross-stitch is a really, really good place to start. It's very, very approachable. And like the kit that I bought a kit at Michael's. It cost me $5. And, you know, by the end of it, I will have a nice little hoop pattern. And, you know, in the instructions, they kind of guide you through how to do, you know, basic stitches. Really, the most basic ones you're going to learn are, let me see, get the actual proper name. So you have the cross stitch where you're making an X pattern. Then you have half cross where you're only just going in one direction. And then finally you have back stitch, which is when you're usually done for like outlines.
So,
and then there's other... Oh, go ahead, Aalaizah.
I designed this pattern with a lot of 1/4 and 3/4 stitches because I hate everything.
yes, 1/4 and 3/4 are also out there.
So that's basically where you do one side of the stitch is the full length, and then the other side is a half of the length. That way you get a nice kind of angle to the stitch instead of it being square.
See, because I did a lot of stuff with sprites, and obviously with sprites you're going to do the whole like X. So that was always like my thing. So I never really bothered too much with quarters and 3/4. And then there's also like more dimensional things like French knots. Though those tend to be more like if you're moving into sort of like the full surface embroidery. Which I did learn a little bit of as well. I didn't like it quite as much as cross stitch. But basically, if you can count, you can do cross stitch. Honestly,
even if you can't count, you can do cross stitch. It just not look what you want it to look like. It's kind of hard to see because I'm stitching blue on black, which is, you know, not my most brilliant moment, but if I were smart, I would have started with the pink so y'all could actually see some of this. But basically, to do a cross, you start in one corner and you go up to the diagonal above it, and then you can just go to the one directly below it, and it's diagonal, and that's it. That's a whole cross stitch.
You're just drawing lots of little X's, but with
Yeah.
string.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, you got it.
So how do you decide what color to start with? In this case, you're starting with the royal blue, but you said you could have started with the pink.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cross stitch, so you can start with whatever color you want.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a counted thing, the only thing that you can't start with like the back stitching, because you want the back stitching to be over top of it to add more definition. But like if I had wanted to, I could have just started with this section, all of the pink stuff.
So it's not like I'm going to use what takes up the most color or like in one particular corner kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, so you can. That's actually how I chose the blue, is because it's the color with the most stitches. But that's a lot of people do. You can do the most stitches. There's a lot of people that don't grid their fabric, so they actually start in the very center of the pattern.
Yep.
That way they can count right and down or left and down if you're left-handed.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
So that's what the gridding is for.
Yeah, the gridding is to make it so I don't have to count as much.
That is much smarter, considering we just determined that you should probably know numbers to stitch.
Yeah, I'm working on just like a small, like 3.5-inch kit that I got at Michael's. So I'm not bothering with gridding or anything. The one thing I did change up though from the kit is the kit recommended. So when you're cross stitching, you can pick like how many strands of thread you are running through the cloth. For this, it was recommended that you use 2 strands. However, I like using 3 because I like my colors to be really bright and solid. But that's just like a personal choice for me.
Yeah, I tend to do 2 threads because I like some of the fabric kind of sticking out a little bit.
I like my colors super bold, so I always go with just I like the 3.
Speaking of counting, shoutouts to the poll in chat asking if people can count.
No, I can't. I can't count.
Well,
I can't
your answers
read.
are yes with a 3 replacing the E, no with a 0 replacing the O, 1, 2, 4, and nice.
Nice.
I'm a speedrunner. I can't read. I can't count.
Well, so you need like the parody middle video. I can only count to 4.
And only sometimes.
And only sometimes.
When I was younger, I was on swim team, and I was never allowed to be the lane leader because I would forget how many laps I had done by the time I got from one end of the pool to the other.
Oh no.
So
Just do all the laps now.
Yeah, all the laps forever.
I
Live here now.
I lived in the pool.
Okay. Yeah. So
Okay, Z, that sounds awesome. I'm sorry.
I'm pretty like I'm sure that if you are willing to commission someone would definitely make that pattern for you. I will say I am a big fan of subversive cross stitch patterns. There's a number of really good pattern makers that will make like funny cross stitch.
Yeah.
Ones. My 2 favorite. Unfortunately, I do not remember the designers off the top of my head. One is based off the movie Elf, where it's a very like well done, like Christmas pattern, but then it's the quote, "You sit upon a throne of lies." So that's this beautiful Santa. It's just like, I like that one. One that I kind of would like to do, just because I think I mentioned this. I live in New England, and where whaling was like a big part of the history. And one of the subversive cross-stitch designers has a very cute whale-themed pattern, but then the text on it is soon may the Wellermen come, your brain gets smart but your head gets dumb. And I kind of want I appreciate I appreciate subversive cross-stitch patterns because it is one of the best examples of just like the full commitment to the bit.
Yeah.
Because cross-stitch takes time, y'all.
Yeah. I love cross-stitch so much, but it takes time. Like, I think...
It takes so much time.
Like, I do... If I'm just stitching and not chatting and hanging out, I can do, like, somewhere around 200 stitches an hour. And just the blue for this is 1,869 stitches. So... They're not small projects, but they're good projects. Right.
I am currently in awe at that number count.
I have to figure out how I'm handling part of this pattern. But, alright. Well, because I kind of started it, like, probably... I could have started it better, but whatever. I live here now, too. See, the thing is that... You do have to keep in mind, like, what the back of the pattern is going to look like. Not completely, but it's easier to stitch when you have a relatively clean back. So I try not to get my backs too messy, but I'm not like the people who have, like, the super neat backs.
Those people impress me, but I'm just like, there's so many other things I could be doing with that time, like just stitching more.
Exactly.
Let me ask a beginner question, if that's okay, about the back. Most cross stitches I've seen have been in frames, so the back usually isn't seen, or maybe they're just not putting pictures of the back. Is that what's happening?
A little of
both. So basically so when you're stitching, like I said, you're stitching obviously for the front to make the front pretty. But there's also obviously the back of the cloth as well. And the neater you can keep it, the easier it like the less problems you'll have, because if you have like a messy back, as you're adding more colors, it'll become more dense and complicated. So trying to kind of keep things nice and neat on the back is very helpful.
Yeah. There's some people that take it to an extreme, though.
Yes, this is true. Now, which X do you like to do? Like, which side of the X do you like to do first?
I do from the bottom left corner to the top right corner first.
Okay, I go the opposite. At least for this one. I mean, the thing is that so long as your X's are all going the same direction, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But I just was like, all right, whatever my hand feels like doing, that's what we're doing.
Okay, now I have a big brain question. Do you write your X's the same way you stitch them?
No.
Yes. So that's probably it.
Okay, so kind of. I do the same side of the cross. When I write my X, I do top right to bottom left first.
I do top left to bottom right first for when I write an X.
Now I'm trying to think, how do I write an X? I
had to think about that.
It's one of those, kind of questions that you ask. It's like an "Are you aware of your tongue?" type question.
Not until you ask me about it.
What that means.
It's not something that you don't think about until someone asks a question or prompts you in a way that makes you cognizant of it. And so the way I always refer to it's are you aware of your tongue? And once you say that, now you're going to be aware of it.
Yeah.
I am incredibly aware of it now. I just looked this up and found out it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Ooh,
and I would advise anyone also curious about this, do not look at that up until the showcase is done. Please enjoy cross stitches instead.
Yes. the cross stitching.
Also, welcome on in, Raiders. Yes, please join us for some cross-stitching tonight. And if you're new to cross-stitching, hey, that's totally cool. So am I, and I'm happy to ask all of your questions. Not answer. I can't answer any of them, but I'm happy to ask all of your questions because I'm asking them, as you just heard.
You said answer, and I was like, man, I feel like I'm back at the Renaissance Fair, because anytime you're in a booth, somebody's like, if you have questions, ask, and if I don't know the answer, I'll make something up.
Yes, all cross stitches are done by drawing an S with your thread. This is true and facts now.
Yeah, yep.
Yes. What did you do at the Renaissance Festival?
A lot of stuff. Mostly watch the shows and shopping, and the one close to us has a tent that does they do wine flights, and
Ooh.
the owner also has a couple of she calls them her toy boxes, and they have a bunch of little vials with different the different things that you can smell or taste in wines. That way you can
cool.
yeah, you can take a sip and then you can be like, oh, I think this has chocolate, and then there's just a vial that says cocoa, and you can pop it open and sniff and be like, yeah, that's definitely what I'm tasting.
Oop.
So
Oop. I have to undo this stitch.
no.
How often does that happen?
I'm usually pretty good, but we were talking and I went in the wrong hole.
Oh yeah, I'm keeping this PG-13, but no, it's just when you said that, I have to undo that. It came to mind. I feel like that comes up a lot when people are knitting as well. Like they have to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not too bad with cross stitch, except of course, I got my thread is tangled, so now I have to gently untangle it.
Okay, this fabric is awful. It's it's more
What's this?
plasticky feeling than the fabric I usually use.
Weird.
So I'm having trouble getting my quarter stitches.
All right, what happened? I'm over here. What even have I done to this thread?
The worst feeling.
I know.
Okay,
Well, especially because it's something where, there's going to be white that goes over this, so, I can't cover it up. If I was going to be, so right now I'm stitching in purple. I know y'all can't see, but I'm stitching in purple right now. But there's going to be white that's going, in the square that I messed up on. So it's not like I can cover it up. If I was stitching in black on top, I would just cover it up. I wouldn't be quite as concerned as I am right now of trying to figure out how to undo this.
I'm also a big fan of, well, I mean, I guess it depends on what the mistake is, but I am a big fan of, is it something obvious enough that somebody that doesn't know what they're looking at will notice? And if not, I'm leaving it.
The good enough method.
Yup.
Yep.
It's I mean, there's almost 2,000 of these blue stitches, so if there's one stitch out of place, most people aren't going to notice. Although I did notice my pattern has
200 an hour.
Yes.
So
if I try.
Yeah, okay. This
so,
is just
so it's really sealing in for me just how involved the project crafting this can be.
yeah.
Yeah.
Schala, you said the one you're working on is considerably smaller?
Yes. It's not the small. I kind of figured out a way to kind of. It's not perfect, but it'll be fine. Yeah. So, mine's not like as super small. Let's see, how many stitches is this? Does it say how many stitches this is? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't for this. No, it doesn't look like it says how many stitches there is. Let's see. It's then I'd have to do actual math.
You said yours is 3.5 inches?
Yeah.
Okay, mine is 6 by 6. So
Okay.
Oh.
Like a quarter of what I'm doing, basically.
Yeah. It's probably somewhere up, like... It's definitely, like, about, like, 150-ish dishes, it looks like.
Okay. Yeah, so
So-
the question I wanted to ask based off that is like, for a beginner, someone completely new to cross-stitching, in case someone stumbles across this, or hey, maybe you're trying to sell me on cross-stitching, which, you know, the two of you are doing a really good job with that. But what would be like a good stitch count to start with? Presumably not over 1,000.
What I have, like I said, like I would say the one that I have is a good one. Of course, unfortunately, with trying to get like this untangled, I lost my count. Okay.
No.
Oh.
The second worst.
No. The thing is like the thing that I was all worried about. It's actually not a problem because it's just more purple. So I got my reading of the chart incorrect. Yeah, I would say, something that's, like I said, about...
Sorry, my stitch program just closed on me. So
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, something that's about like 3 inches square is a good starter. I will say if you do, you know, like video games, and I'm pretty sure most people here do.
Never heard of them.
I know. Like legitimately, original Nintendo and SNES era sprites are actually a great thing to learn to cross stitch with, because they're super small and they're super simple. And you could, like, if you're looking at like something off like the original Nintendo, you don't even like really need, you know, like to get like a real like proper pattern done. You can probably just eyeball matching the colors.
yeah.
We were talking in the green room. Well, I noted that, hey, this is basically analog pixel art. And
Yep.
that's a very good point that, yeah, sprites are great for that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sprites are definitely great, and there's a lot of really great like designers out there too that make smaller designs and stuff. The biggest thing I would say is just pick a design that you like.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't like it, you're gonna get mad and not want to work on it.
Yep. But yeah, we were sort of talking that there's like Pokemon cross stitch like guides, and there's Stardew Valley ones. So, like, and the thing is, there's always Etsy. Like, legitimately, you know, there's tons and tons of like video game based patterns on there, or you could just go to Spriter's resource and find a pattern, and you'll be able to follow it. The color matching is like the one part that is like a little tricky when you're just starting out, just because you might not kind of have a good sense for all the colors that are out there. And how many colors does DMC have? It's I know it's a few hundred.
Yeah, it's a few hundred. I don't know. Their numbering also doesn't make sense to me, because like...
It does not make sense?
No.
I think it's probably something where like colors have like come in and out.
I think that's probably what it is, but...
Of being manufactured, and that's why it jumps around so much. Also, as I'm doing all this, I'm like, I'm looking at like how much thread they gave me, and I'm like, I hope I have enough to do all this. The thing is that this pattern is so, what's the term I'm looking for? It's so painterly that I could probably sub in my own colors. Or I bet that if I look this up, I'm sure there's like a color conversion chart.
Oh yeah, there's so many color conversion charts for like everything ever. I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, because let me actually for chat so they can see what I'm working on.
I'll move the camera. Try and maybe get some better lighting.
You know, I was trying to read your T-shirt.
So am I now.
It's Brave Fencer Musashi. Surprising nobody that knows me.
Shoutouts to the time you did a showcase of it here on Attract Mode.
Heck yeah, I need to do some more, but okay, is that where? I think that's a little better, maybe. Plus, then my hand's
I'm
not in the
gonna
way.
lie, by the way, I have also begun now looking up cross stitch kits.
Heck yes.
And there are so many.
There's so many.
Yeah, I definitely recommend start with a kit.
Yeah.
And then from there, you can then start building like a thread stash. There you go. So for chat, you can now see what I'm working on. So this is a beginner cross-stitch kit from Michaels. But I basically picked it so that I would have something, to kind of do along. So, and what I'm doing is, as I'm going, because I'm working off paper, is I'm just marking on the cross-stitch pattern with a blue pen whenever I finish stitches, so that way I remember what I have done.
And actually, no, that's a good point. I wanted to ask. I see, Aalaizah, what you've stitched is getting marked off in the program. You call it WinStitch, I believe.
Yes.
How is that happening? Like, are you like? You are clicking it.
Yeah. Yep. Which actually is a good. I don't know if I on this row or this one. Let me. 1, 2. Okay, I am on this row. Cool. Yeah. So you can, if you're using WinStitch specifically, they have a button so that you can just be like, okay, I want to mark it up. And then when you click, it marks up the stitches you've done. And then if you have this out a little further, you can see I've done 3% of the stitches. Or 3% of the blue stitches, sorry. That is just the percentage of blue. I don't know if it shows the percentage of all of them.
It shows the percentage of blue, and it says, I believe, the quantity of the stitches on the left.
Yeah, that's the far left is the quantity of the stitches.
Wow, there's 1,800 blue. Yes,
As
I am
as the joke kind of goes, cross stitch is great if you would like to stab something like 3,000 times.
Yeah, that's I still haven't done any of the patterns that are about that, and I really should. There's a bunch of them that are like, you see this, it proves that I can stab something 1,000 times or something like that, and I'm like, that's a good pattern idea.
But see, I don't remember which of the subversive cross stitch, like, because there is, of course, the original subversive cross stitch.
Yeah.
And then there's a whole bunch of other, like, variations.
Yeah. And you'll see sometimes I was just untwisting my thread.
Also, I will tell people, if you do look up subversive cross stitch, there are a lot of swears. Also, I am very sad because I just found out that subversive cross stitch has the most amazing needle minder. Needle minder is basically, it's a magnet that you can like drop your needle like on so you don't lose it. And they have a goose with a knife needle minder that says "Become ungovernable," and I kind of love it.
That's my water bottle has a goose that says "Peace was never an option." So
yes,
yeah,
A+.
Also, this I'm paying for it, but there's a free version. The biggest difference between the free and paid for versions are how long you can leave the program open. Like, the program will yell at you if you've left it open for, I think it's over like an hour and a half or something like that, but it does pause and let you save before it closes. So, like, honestly,
it's a forced break.
It's a forced break.
Repetitive strain.
I bought the full version because I have been using this for basically all of the patterns I've designed in the past 5 years. So for me, it was a good, let me support some people that supported me. But yeah, the free version is perfectly usable, and I used that for a long time.
All right, I did find the other very good subversive cross stitch site that I like. Unfortunately, they have a swear in the name.
Oh no.
It's S post sampler. I think you can figure out what the S stands for.
I think I've seen that one recently, actually.
I do. Theirs is also full of swears. There's plenty of those that do not have swears. Such as, rice fills me with joy and happiness, but more importantly, it fills me with rice.
That's so good. I love me some rice. Oh my god, please, Needle, go through
Nothing
that.
but facts.
I do love the kit of BRB going feral, but it's in like beautiful pastel colors.
Oh, I love that. Oh man. This is the real issue with cross-stitch. Is because it takes so long, you are very likely to find way more patterns than you ever have the time to do.
Yes. And I do also appreciate and it's done in beautiful rainbow colors. I am haunted and bedeviled by the matter of the pronouns. I definitely feel that one. All right. Where the heck am I with this? Now that I've been fairly distracted. Because I knew I was sort of doing something a little funky here. That's right.
Oh my god. Sorry, the tape in the... Everything is apparently making me grumpy, so we're just gonna... There we go. Okay.
So, are you doing... I'm assuming you're because of how fast you're stitching, you're just doing the sort of like the traditional, line method.
Yeah.
Where you kind of do everything in one direction and then you go back and do everything in the other direction.
Yeah, that's how I do things for the most part. I do sometimes, depending on, like, what's going on. Sometimes I'll, like, go halfway across and then do a bunch of stitches, like, up or down. And then come back that way.
Well, because this pattern I'm working on is not... Like I said, it's very painterly, so there's a lot of, like, places where there's, like, skips and everything.
Yeah.
So... It's like it's gonna go however it's gonna go. Yes. Also be sure to take breaks for your hands. Also, something that's good for both gaming and for embroidery is you can get knitting gloves.
Yep. Thank you for
what's your type of? Yes, what's your type of compression gloves? Yeah, mine are sitting like, of course, like over like across from me, and it's like I should go put them on. I should.
I don't think about it until I've been stitching for long enough that I'm in pain, so the reminder is helpful.
Let me see if I can.
Oh my gosh!
Grab these. Did I get there?
So when you see me like lift up the fabric, I'm dangling the needle to let the thread untwist itself some, because the thread twisting is basically the cause of almost every knot that you will ever come across in cross stitching.
Yeah.
So
go. I bought these the compression gloves I'm putting on. I bought these a while ago. The one thing I think that's kind of interesting about them is they have grip on them. They have like
interesting.
Yeah, there's like lines on them to help you with gripping. That was kind of interesting. But I've, it's something where like I've bought plenty of compression gloves. I like the one by what is it? It's the lion's. Is it lion's head yarn or the one that has the lion on it? The yarn with the lion on it.
I didn't know they had compression gloves, but
they do. Those are like if you want like they're very minimal compression. Like, if you just want something lightweight, because some compression gloves are really heavy. Like, I see that both of us are going with, like, heavier ones.
I am seeing a Lion brand yarn that has stress relief gloves.
Yep, that's it. You could also use those for gaming.
Yep,
tip.
That's why I almost never use mine for cross-stitching, is because I use them for gaming, and then when I'm cross-stitching anywhere besides my desk, I forget they exist. I should do like I do with my water bottles, actually. I I have 4 water bottles. One for each, like, zone of the house that I spend time in. Because
No,
otherwise...
I completely understand. I have 3 right now. So, I am in a similar situation, where I had one that I used at my previous job. I covered it in stickers, and then I was like, after I left that job, I brought it home, and I'm like, you know what? This is now the nightstand water bottle.
Yeah, yep, you got the nightstand water bottle, I've got the work desk water bottle, I've got the dining room table water bottle.
Skip 1 and then do 2. Okay.
I'm sorry that you're sad, puppy.
So right now I have what is going to be the new work water bottle, which I have right here, and then I have the bigger tumbler, which is normally what I have, but it doesn't work well if I have my headset on. So we're using the work one.
Oh, okay. The stitch, okay.
There's a 2.
Please, can I? There we go.
Skip 1.
Domino, can you go lay down, please?
Also, I've been listening along. I like this song a lot.
Right?
Sounds like cute. Oh, it's Christmas Nights into Dreams. Okay, that explains it. I mean, I unironically really like the Square Enix Christmas albums.
I don't know that I've listened to any of them.
I have both of them.
Okay.
The best tracks are there's a Chrono Trigger Christmas track.
Ooh.
There's a Rydia's theme from FF4, but the absolute best one is the Christmas version of the Chocobo theme.
I'm gonna have to go look that up.
Yes, it is so good because it is literally just like, what if Happy Christmas Chocobos? And I'm like, yes, of course.
So
Happy
I
Christmas
would like
Chocobos.
to make that look up easier
Yes.
on you, Aalaizah. Square Enix does have a music channel on YouTube.
Yeah,
They
Perfect.
have uploaded some of their albums.
I love that.
yeah, not
including
all of
the
them.
kind of albums that Schala. I believe you collect a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, I don't know. I have way too much music.
There is never too much
There's
music.
never too much music.
Well, all right, hold up. I'm coming to the end of my thread.
So am
This is
I,
actually-
so...
Yes, this is actually a good time to do 2 things. Let me first finish my thread. You don't want to get to the point where you can't actually finish your thread. That's bad. I've definitely been in that.
Same. I have seen...
It's so awkward.
I have seen some things that people have done to get the last little bit of their thread, because, like, a lot of stitchers call it thread chicken, where you're trying to, like, finish a section of stitches before you run out of thread. And the cross-stitching subreddit, lots of people post, like, all of their crazy, like, how I got to this little itty-bitty piece of thread left. And I'm like,
Yes.
once again, you spent so much time doing that when I could have just grabbed a new thread. So
Yes.
with cross-stitching, you try not to make knots because you want the final product to be as flat as possible. So the most common way to both start and end your stitches is called burying your thread. And that's basically, so I'm on the back of the cross stitch right now, and I am just sticking my needle through the back of a bunch of the stitches. Oop, that's the fabric, that's not a stitch. Come on, stop going through the fabric. Alright, well, that's enough stitches. You only have to do a couple, but basically going back through a few of the stitches anchors down the thread so that you can cut off the last little bit and not have to worry about it too much. So that's also...
I'm bad at doing that to start.
I'm bad at doing it to start too, and I recently learned how to do the loop start. So that's what I've been doing, but it only works if you're using an even number of strands.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm out.
There is one called like the pin stitch that I tried that a lot of people use that you can do with any number of strands, but so for the loop stitch, the loop start, instead of taking 2 strands, I take a single strand and fold it in half.
Okay.
And then maybe thread is going crazy on me. Okay. Fold it in half, and then we thread the 2 ends of the single bit. Oh, did it? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. The threading a needle is
so
the
now
worst
that
part.
You have actually done that. That's just the question I was about to ask. What is the part you like the least about this hobby? Because I know when sewing, I hate threading needles.
Threading needles and oddly enough, finishing my patterns, like finishing my projects. Like I found, at first I thought it was backstitching that I hated the most, because I normally do the backstitching as like the last step. But recently I did a project where I did all of the backstitching and then I had some lettering to do. And I just didn't want to do the lettering because I was just done. Like, the pattern was done. But so now that I've got the needle threaded, I can bring it through the front so that there's just a loop left. And then I can bring it back up through where what would be the end of that cross, and then through the loop.
What's this?
And then you can pull it tight and go right back down through where you came up. And the loop is on the back of the fabric now. And
neat.
The thread is anchored. So
it also seems incredibly handy for regular sewing now that I've brought that up, because knots are always so unwieldy.
They really are.
Alright, I have possibly lost my needle.
Oh no.
No, I got it.
Okay. I was like, I can't throw... So I don't have a needle minder in here, but I have this wonderful fidget toy that has magnets in it so that I can make a cookie.
That is so cute. I love it.
I have one for each computer. I have 2 of these. And both of them end up being needle minders more often than not, even though I have actual needle minders.
See, as far as fidgets go, I actually bought some new ones. I like elastic bracelets with sphere beads.
Okay.
Well, I like them to like wear as like a fidget.
Yeah.
Because it's something where like it just looks cute, but it's like okay, but then like if I do need to fidget, I can just fidget with the bracelet a bit.
Yeah, it's got so many parts.
That's fair.
You to...
Oh yeah, well the big thing is that it's elastic, so I can take it like on and off, and like I'll usually like will take it off and I'll just like move the beads in my hand. Is usually what I kind of do, but I have several that are in. They're actually done with coconut beads. So they're very lightweight.
Okay.
But I recently did some shopping and I found that there's actually like a really cute. You know, I'm like if you're super into crystals, that's cool. I'm not super into them in like the metaphysical way. I just like shiny rocks.
Shiny rocks are good.
So I ended up like bumping. Well, the thing is now I'm like grumpy because like not only was there, I did go to the crystal shop. I didn't realize that like until I was leaving this little shopping area that there was also there actually was like an embroidery shop there. It's like no, I should have gone.
Jealous.
But you know what that sounds like? You need to make a return trip.
I do need to make a return trip. I got to actually do some fun with kind of going and doing some day trips recently, so that's been fun. So I did day trips both to Boston and then to Connecticut. So, which were both fun. The Boston one was mainly fun because I got to go on a tour of the State House.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Well, it was mainly interesting because, did I turn this upside down? Sorry, I'm looking at my. Well, because I dropped my needle, and then that became like, you know, the main like focus. Okay. So now I had to go back and look at the. Okay, so I did do that one. Okay, I also didn't mark a stitch. So now I have to like mark that I did that stitch. But yeah, I got to go on a very cool tour of the State House. Not to, you know, tangent off too far. I used to work in local government, so as do both my brother and my sister-in-law are both you know participate in their local government. So because of that, we all know our state representative, and he was super cool and gave us like a tour of the State House.
That's super cool.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I need to like mark on my desk where my camera's pointing so that I know I'm in the.
You're definitely in the shot. You're good. You're good.
You are in the shot. We are seeing it. It's actually like almost centered the part.
Oh, that's.
that
I just moved it when I made that statement. So.
You did good. But anyway, if you're ever up in Boston, go visit the State House. If they're allowing visitors, it's fun. And I get to be like it. Part of it was done by my favorite architect, because I'm the type of nerd who would have a favorite architect.
No, well, now you have to share the name of your favorite.
Yeah, I was like,
and this isn't like a gatekeeping thing. You have to share your favorites here.
Charles Brigham, who was a Massachusetts architect, who did a lot of really gorgeous buildings during the turn of the century. So a lot of stuff from like a lot of the buildings that I've known of his are like 1890s up to about 1913 or so. But
so I'm looking this up, and they look very castle-like.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yes. That was sort of his specialty. So for the State House, he worked on the expansion they did in the 1890s. But he also designed like some schools and academies. So I actually went to high school in one of his buildings. So that's why
nice.
I have particular fondness for it.
You know, that
Anyway.
makes complete sense. So it's got a personal touch.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's why it's like. But legitimately, if you like really interesting architecture, go look up Charles Brigham. There you go. I mean, I grew up in like an interesting part of New England where there's like a lot of history. Kind of unsurprising.
New England has never been known for history.
Never.
What?
Never,
No. All right, I will say, unfortunately, it's a little expensive to go to, but I do love that coming up in Boston, there's going to be an entire like queer themed food festival.
Ooh.
The only thing like that, it's just like outside kind of the range that I can kind of justify to go.
I need to stop you right now, Schala. You can't do this to me.
But here's the thing though. They are going to have a queer tea party at the Tea Party Museum.
You can't do
I'm sorry,
this
there's a
to
tea
me.
party museum?
Yeah,
Man,
they have a whole boat and everything.
I'm on my way.
Okay. Yeah, we're stopping the showcase right now. All of you, if you're cross-stitching, you're coming with us. We're going to the Tea Party Museum. We're getting early in line for the queer tea party, and you know what? You can continue your cross-stitch projects there.
Exactly.
And they will let you throw tea in the harbor.
Man,
Aalaizah?
okay. Yeah, no,
We're going now.
Sorry, Lady Arcaders. I'll see y'all next time.
This has been Aalaizah with No Wrong Weft.
I'm just here to be Massachusetts, to do like the whole Massachusetts mention. Come visit Massachusetts. It's actually a lot of fun.
It's got a crystal store. It's got an embroidery store.
It's got an embroidery
store. Tea party museum.
The amount of museums in Boston is actually amazing. Like, legit, if you come to Boston, go to the Science Museum. The Science Museum is one of my favorite, museums ever. There's musical stairs. They've got, they had to correct their scientifically inaccurate T-Rex. I think they have an accurate one now. There's a planetarium.
I don't think I went there last time I went to Boston, and now
I've been to Boston exactly once, and I did not go there, so I'm gonna have to go there at some point.
And then to balance it out, because I also used to live in Atlanta. Well, I lived outside Atlanta. You know what I mean. I live close to Atlanta. I will tell everyone, if you go to visit Atlanta, these are the two things to go see. Go to the aquarium. Okay? It is worth the admission just to sit by the giant tank wall. And when I say giant, I mean it's like a 40-foot tall wall that just looks in on the giant central tank. And there's whale sharks in there, y'all.
That sounds so cool.
It is so cool,
folks.
And it's so
if you
chill.
are going to be in town for PAX East, which since we're talking Boston,
yup, jealous.
I unfortunately cannot do PAX East this year. I have done PAX East plenty of times though, and it's annoying because they finally did finish the train upgrades, so it's I could, but it's literally the same week as starting my new job.
Oh,
and
the worst.
We have to make money to buy materials for our cross-stitch projects.
Yep. Well,
but I do bring up PAX East because people are very excited about this queer tea party.
But definitely, yeah. And if you've never been to PAX East is a great time. I've been, I think, 3 times now. It's 3 or 4 times. I've been a lot of times to PAX East. To be fair, I've been that many times because the last few times I have volunteered with Take This.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely wonderful, gaming-focused mental health charity. And if you are willing to basically put in work, they will help cover your badge.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was enforcer at PAX South the last year that they had PAX South. RIP PAX South.
RIP PAX South.
I understand why RIP PAX South, but also it's the one closest to me, so.
I never did PAX South, though I did, when I was living outside Atlanta, I did go to, of course I hit the whole trifecta of Dragon Con, Anime Week in Atlanta, and MomoCon. Nice. So, again, fun. Oh yes, and the other thing to do if you are in Atlanta, here you go. This is I'm saying this 100% legitimately. If you have any interest at all in the work of Jim Henson, go to the Puppetry Museum. It is
I've heard that. Oh.
Yeah, no, they have an entire Jim Henson wing of the Puppetry Museum.
That's so cool.
It is for anyone unfamiliar with the name Jim Henson, he is best known for the Muppets.
Yep. Oh, yep. There's sections for the Muppets. They have one of the full-size Big Birds there. So if you ever want to know exactly how big Big Bird is, Big Bird is there. And they swap out for some of the big ones. They also have, if you remember the Dark Crystal, they have a full size of the Skeksis, which are so huge in person.
Oh man!
And they've done. I got to go when they did the Labyrinth special exhibit. That was pretty fun because they actually had the costumes, and it is oh yes, David Bowie's pants really were that tight.
There's a
So,
museum in San Antonio that
hmm
is, I forget what it's called, but it's run out of what used to just be a house.
okay.
And one summer they had the Nightmare Before Christmas puppets
Oh,
for
so
show.
cool.
So I went over to San Antonio for that because I love me some Nightmare Before Christmas.
I can't remember if they have. I know. The last time I went to the puppetry museum, they did have an entire set of puppets from Coraline, and they had
Ooh.
them all like set up and everything. So, anyway, there you go. Go to the puppetry museum in Atlanta.
The
Hot
aquarium.
tip. And the aquarium. Well, hot tip with the puppetry museum, it is right next to Atlantic Station, which is sort of this cool like shopping and dining area in Atlanta. And you can go to Kilwin's Ice Cream and Candy, which I highly recommend.
Aalaizah, stop the showcase. We're going to Atlanta.
Yep. Yeah. No, we are on our way. Pack your
Now,
stitching bags.
I mean, the thing is, like, so that when I did my day trip, I went over to Connecticut, so I got to go to Mystic, Connecticut, which I had never been to, which is actually very cute. I liked Mystic a lot. You know, and then so I went. So I have been to the Mystic Aquarium. So I've been to. Now I have to count how many aquariums I've been to. I like aquariums.
Aquariums are
Probably
cool.
It's also probably because I'm a Pisces. Maybe. I'm one of those people
There
who
is
like I
something
know.
immensely soothing about aquariums, so.
There really is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I was sort of joking that
Yeah.
I'm someone who doesn't really believe in astrology, but I know a lot about it. But the reason why I know a lot about it is it's actually really like fun for creative writing because you can kind of start with
Yeah.
like an astrological archetype and just build, like you said, as like a base for building characters. So there you go. That's my
Writing tip of the day.
writing tip of the day. I say, even though I have not had the chance to really do writing recently, even though I like want to, but time.
So something that I'm curious about. I'm
Yes.
just stitching. I just hold my fabric. I do like a bunch of different ways, but are you holding the fabric? Are you in the hoop already? Are you?
No. This is the project I'm working on is designed to be finished in the hoop, but not stitched in the hoop.
Okay.
So I'm just holding. I've seen the people who have like the cool things, like the big stands. Like
Yeah.
the people who have like scroll ones are. I'm like, that's so cool, but I'm like, it's also so extra.
It's
Is it
so
hard to
extra.
stitch in the hoop, if I can ask?
It depends on the pattern. It's just that the pattern that I'm working on is designed to be finished in the hoop. Like some of the stitches are going to be like under, like in between the wood pieces, so you can't actually stitch it in the hoop. I don't. I actually like stitching in hoops, but my hoops are probably down in storage. So and there's plenty of times where if it's something small, like if it's anything, like I think the fabric they gave me is about what, like maybe 5 inches square. I'm like, I'm not getting out a hoop for that. It does mean
Yeah.
that when I'm done, I'll probably have to press it. So when you're finishing cross stitch, you usually have to iron it at the end.
Oh.
Just
And
so
that's
that
to
way.
flatten it?
Yeah. It's also because in my case, the Ida that they gave me was all folded up, and then I went and folded it further so I could figure out where the center was.
That's yep.
'Cause
I was gonna
I'm a-
say I fold for the center, and then I also tend to fold up the left side that I'm holding a bunch, so
Actually,
that'll
I
get
should do
like
that with mine.
super rolled up.
On a similar note, this is now back to beginners
Yep.
beginner asking questions about cross stitching. You mentioned that the Ida you're using feels kind of plasticky,
Yeah.
or am I like misremembering that?
No, that's it's like plasticky is the only thing I can it doesn't feel soft like fabric.
Yeah,
so the question I was going to ask is, sorry, Schala, go ahead.
I was saying the one I'm working on is also kind of, it's very stiff. It's like overstarched.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the question I'd wanted to ask was, like, are certain materials easy to stitch on when cross stitching, or is it just like a feeling preference kind of thing?
For me, it's just a feeling preference kind of thing.
And you're basically, if you're doing cross stitch, you're going to be on Ida. Oh jeez. You told me to watch my knots in the back, Aalaizah, and then what do I do? I go and I knot on the back. I think that's a few stitches back though, so I might not be able to undo it.
And to answer the question in chat, I believe the two of you are working on 14 counts?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, my memory is working.
Yeah,
I might be
don't
learning something from the showcase after all.
other than you want to visit Boston.
That's, yeah.
And Atlanta.
And Atlanta.
Domino. It's bedtime.
I'll make the joke because I'm far enough removed from it that I can make the joke. See, I shouldn't. At my previous job, I put in to help run like tourism. See, I would have been fine. I would have done a great job at it.
You would have.
You would
I would
have.
have. That's fine. I start my new job next week. It's fine.
Also, shout outs to the music, which is going hard right now.
It really is.
I mean,
this is a Tekken remix.
I mean, the I guess weird. I don't know. The interesting thing about Atlanta is that I think this. I'm like 90% sure that I have met DJ Pretzel.
Oh.
Because
I
I've definitely.
know he was from Atlanta.
I think I have definitely. I'm 99%. The thing is, like, it's one of those things where, like, we met at, like, Anime Weekend Atlanta, and it was late.
Mm.
So, you know, it's the whole thing where it's late at a con, and, you know, what even is reality? I have definitely had some very unreality moments, for sure.
Did I meet you? Was it a fever dream?
Yes.
Did you just never speak of this again?
Yep. See, now I'm trying to think, like, what is my most, like, safe for work answer there? for weird things that happened to me at a con.
So the first year I went to BlizzCon.
Okay.
I was staying at the Hilton that's right there by the convention center. It's the same hotel that the Blizzard devs stay in. And when I got there, I checked in, and then I had a room on like floor 6 or 7 or whatever. So I was waiting in the elevators. And one of the Blizzard devs got off the elevator and slapped all of the buttons on the way out.
No.
Yeah. I was like, really, bro? Like,
for real? I mean, when I was very much into con culture, I did get to meet all the main voice actors for Final Fantasy 15.
ooh.
So, though probably like the most like unexpected, I would say. Oh god, I have to make sure I get like his name right. As I go and I have to. Okay, there we are. Because I went to like a very like small con once, and it's kind of like a similar like thing that you experienced, Aalaizah, where you get in the elevator and then like, oh, now there's like someone like famous for video games in the elevator with you.
Yeah.
Which mine was sharing an elevator ride with Keith Farley, probably best known as being Thane in Mass Effect.
Okay.
So, well, he was also there
I'm trying to recall the voice now, but I did like Thane.
But he himself is a very like cool guy. So, but he was at the small con because he had done the voice direction for the dub of FF15. Also, voice actors, go out to things.
They do.
Please support voice actors. But it is one of those things where it's just like, I know that I'm getting up there in years. I officially crossed the big mid-life number. So,
I mean, sometimes that just means you have more stories to tell.
It does mean that I have
Exactly.
more stories to tell, but it's like, I know that I can't bounce the way that I used to.
Yeah.
Because I will say, you're going to, I can't do like I did when I was younger, and going to Anime Week in Atlanta and hanging around at the Waffle House there at 2 a.m., which if you want...
That is a very specific experience.
Yes, if you want a very specific Atlanta experience, please go to the Waffle House outside of Anime Week in Atlanta at 2 a.m.
Okay. Remembering this for my Atlanta trip I'm planning.
I will say, my funniest, like, dealing with normal people while at a con experience. So, Anime Week in Atlanta, there is a mall across the street. So it's not like, uncommon for people to go across the street to the mall to go like eat and everything, because you don't want to have to pay the prices that you have, at the convention center.
Mm-hmm.
So there was one time, this was back, early 2000s. So where my friends and I were like, oh, let's just go to the mall and go get food. All of us in different cosplay.
Yup. That's always the best.
Yeah, but specifically because this is relevant, one of my friends, Deji, they were dressed as Etna from Disgaea. So if you know that outfit, that's a very particular outfit.
Isn't that the very skimpy devil girl?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, we I think that's pretty descriptive.
Yup.
Yes. Meanwhile, I was dressed up as one of the black cloaked Sephiroth clones from Final Fantasy VII, and was carrying around a hand stitched Genova doll. So anyway, I was not at. It was kind of funny, but also not at all surprising. When we're just having like our lunch at the food court, and someone just walks up to us. It's like, "Are you in a cult?"
Yup.
We're like,
Maybe. I've had a similar experience. One of the anime conventions I've went to when I was younger used to be right across from the mall. They've moved like 7 times now, but
yes.
I don't remember what everybody else was dressed up as, but I was Waluigi, and
oh, fantastic!
Yeah, that's my first and most favorite cosplay was Waluigi. Before everybody started getting the like fancy hats.
Oh, gotcha.
I have my Waluigi hat is it is a cop hat from Party City. With purple fabric over it.
I love it. That's actually a good question. Favorite cosplay? I actually have to think. I mean, probably, even though it's very basic and basically like closet cosplay, I really do like my Black Mage cosplay. That's why my avatar is myself dressed as a Black Mage.
That's
Mainly because of the hat. I actually got a Black Mage hat commissioned.
Ooh.
From another like Black Mage cosplayer that I met at Dragon Con. And they did such a good job. Also, I am very both like I think it's great, but also I am seething because of the expense of it that there's now an official like VV hat that Square Enix is putting out for
I did see
FF9's
that.
I
like
did not see
anniversary. It's very cute. But
Listen.
it's like it's cute, but it's not like $100 cute.
That's fair.
Ooh. Also, real quick, welcome on in, Raiders. You are watching No Wrong Weft on Attract Mode, where we're just hanging out while cross-stitching. So if you've got some crafting projects, please feel free to join us. I do want to let you know at this time, Aalaizah, we're about an hour and 13 minutes into the showcase.
Okay.
Yeah, we've just been shooting the breeze and everything.
We
I
have.
mean,
Telling
we've been
people-
convinced to go to Atlanta and Boston
Yup.
and hit up a certain embroidery store. We don't know which one. It's just
Yeah,
a certain embroidery
just a
store.
certain one.
Well, it's more that like I saw it and like I we were already leaving when I like saw it and I was just like, oh man. It was more that kind of feel.
I wish there was an embroidery store by me instead
See,
of me
the
being
act-
stuck with the big box.
Yeah. The one like specialty craft store I really did enjoy back when I was doing t-shirts was I actually was it within driving distance of a vinyl shop.
Ooh.
So I could get like all the different t-shirt vinyl that I use and I could just like go and like drive over there.
Nice.
Oh, this is such
Okay.
a weird way to do what I'm doing, but whatever.
So I'm on the first road that goes like all the way across. So I'm just not going to count for a little bit.
Good idea.
And then I'm
I
going to
am-
get to a spot and be like, well, hopefully that's not too many.
I am here counting for my life. Because I have like a bunch of like spare stitches I'm all trying to pick up.
So
So
this
I
may
could
be
kind
an
of
incredibly dangerous question to ask Aalaizah right now, but what happens if you have too many?
I just have to undo some stitches.
Okay, so it's fairly easy.
Yeah, no, it's fairly easy. It's more annoying than anything.
Like,
And as a
again, my
product
favorite
of me not
reference for
counting.
this is knitting, where I've heard horror stories of, I did this wrong, and now I have to undo the entire row.
I mean, so there are times that I have done that. But that comes back to
I'm so
like
sorry for bringing those flashbacks to you.
Oh no, that's I have gotten it's much easier with cross stitch to be, well, nobody's gonna notice this than it is with something like crochet or knitting, because a
Yep.
lot of times with crochet and knitting, if you like miss a stitch, then like your whole project just like goes in and then out, and you have to go back in order to get to the right spot to add the stitch in. Whereas with cross stitch, so if I do too many stitches, it's a pain, and I do have to take some out. But if I just don't do enough stitches, I just take some thread and do the stitch.
I like that. Things that are easy to fix.
Yeah, yep. Alright.
Oh.
what is-
I'm not gonna worry about this. I have something where I have like a stitch that's like far away from everything else. And I might just not worry about it. We'll have to see how I feel.
Yeah.
Because I'm almost at the end of my thread. And it's like, do I really feel like... Oh, that's true. Wait a second. That's true. That's okay. It's buried in him with a bunch of half stitches, so it's something I actually have to worry about. Never mind. I'm worried for nothing. I'm so unused to having to keep like half stitches in mind.
Yeah.
I never would do that like with my own projects.
I was gonna say, I've never designed with half stitches, and I'm kind of like, I feel like that's something I should add to my repertoire. But
I mean, like I said, the pattern I picked out, like they use it in a really nice way to kind of do like a dithering effect.
yeah, exactly. I really like the way they did it in that pattern.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, haha, good. Then I can finish this off and be somewhat happy with the amount of progress I made. We're not gonna look at the giant knot on the back.
Yeah, no.
Just don't look at it.
Just don't look at it. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, just don't look at it.
I mean, no one's gonna see it when you're done.
Exactly.
There.
All right.
Okay, now I have to... Oh, look at that. See, and so this is why I like gridding, because I have 9 stitches here, and I can tell that because every set of the thick lines is 10 stitches. So I can just go from where I'm at until I'm 1 stitch away from the end, and then bam, I'm done. No more counting for a little bit. And then I'm gonna start going up weirdly, since that's my weird 1 line of blue stitches for the arcade cabinet.
I probably will have to, because I'm like, yeah, this is definitely not designed for someone like me who wanted to do 3 stitches. But it looks so much better, though, is the thing. I stand by my choice. It looks very bold now. So I'm going to have to figure out a, what I'm looking for? A conversion chart for loops thread to DMC. I'm since we're just about to wrap up, I've set my stitching aside.
Would you be interested? Well, not interested. Would you be willing to share your progress in the art channel in the private Discord?
Yes, I can.
All right. Well, also, hey, Chad, if you're interested in seeing that progress and Lady Arcaders is a place that you feel you could belong, come join our cozy private community. That's it. That's my spiel. I just wanted to see their progress.
To add on to that spiel, I have shared both versions of the pattern that I'm working on. So I have, I turned off the back stitching, but where's, so this version has the Super S. I do also have, or the Cool S. It's Super S. Everybody knows how to write it.
I didn't even realize that the Cool S had disappeared.
I was trying to make sure that I could properly see which stitches were 3/4 stitches and not. So I turned off all of the back stitching portion. But the other version has Mrs. Pac-Man, and those are both available in the Discord. So if you join, you can make the same thing I'm making.
I would also actually like to ask about the back stitching. Is that just to give additional shape to it in the back, or?
Yeah. So I wish I had. I mean, you can kind of see it with actually. Okay, this is. I'm gonna save this because this might crash the program. Sometimes it does. With the back stitching. So this is let me also. Oh no, it's being. There we go. Okay. So yeah, so this is a lot of it. A lot of it is just to kind of give extra specific shape to it, but then also stuff like the Lady Arcaders just wouldn't look like in the size that I'm doing wouldn't look good without backstitching.
Okay, so that's better off if you stitch it directly instead of pixelating it.
Yep. And so that's just doing like long stitches. You come up from the back and you go however long you need to go, and then you go back down. And we'll get to that at some point too, because the Super S is that too. So okay, I'm gonna go back to this view. Okay.
You said earlier that sometimes this crashes the program, and right when that happened, the music got very, very dramatic.
Yeah, so there's a few different views that you can use in the program to like see what the stitches are gonna look like. Most of the time I just use a block of color because that's kind of what it's going to look like, and that's enough for me. But there is a version where you can see the actual stitches. This pattern's small enough it doesn't seem to be bothering it too much, but I've definitely had some patterns where I hit that button and then like 10 minutes later the whole program is just like, nah, I'm done. So...
Oh, for where would you all like me to post the my progress? I should actually have asked that.
I
just
would
in,
be
like,
okay with the art channel in the Ladies Arcaders Discord. And again, hey, if you want to see what Scala's been working on,
Yes.
come on by.
Okay, 2 from the top.
I should actually make it so you can see the.
Gonna try and zoom my way through so that I can get at least this little bit done before the end of the showcase today. And I might just do some of the pink next time, just to mix it up.
Yeah, make it so that way it's a little easier to see.
Yeah.
Also, I did find a conversion chart for the loops and thread colors to
Oh, good.
to DMC. So if I do run into something where I use up too much thread,
Yeah.
I can just use that to see if I have it in my stash. And if I don't, like, the thing is, like I said, the pattern that I picked is so painterly that I could probably throw in, like, colors that are roughly the same and it would be fine.
Yeah. And I love so much that there's so many, like, conversion charts out there to just take you from whatever brand your kit is to DMC or Anchor, which are the 2 biggest brands for embroidery thread.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's right. Okay.
And just for my personal reference, is that DMC the same as Devil May Cry?
No, but it should be.
It should be. That'd be way better. I actually
You have
does
to
it
feel
stand
your
for
dark
anything?
soul. It's just it's I know it's a French company, so I'm assuming it. I think it's like the. Oh god, I used to know what it was.
Things I'm looking up for next episode.
I mean, I'm looking it up because I am able to do so.
Well, I use Devil May Cry as like a handy way to identify that middle
yes.
letter because M sounds like N.
That's
But
that's
you know
fair.
what? I'm okay with us now calling it shorthand for Devil May Cry as well.
Okay, unfortunately, okay. Oh, that's interesting. They are actually very specific that it is an Alsatian textile company. So it's from Alsace in France.
Okay.
I'm going to do my best to pronounce this, but it's Dolphus Mieg et Compagnie. It's like the French word for company.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I figured. It's named after the people who the guys who started it. So, but it's been around since 1746.
Oh, geez.
I'm trying to remember. I think Turkish red thread might have come earlier. I mean, they're basically when you're talking about embroidery, there's a whole history of colors and dyes. It's actually really good if you legitimately like the history of it. There's actually like a whole tradition within the Quaker community for cross stitch, which is that's actually been carried through till now. And I highly recommend looking at Quaker cross stitching. It's really, really beautiful. It's actually one of my favorite kind of like subgenres.
I'm gonna have to look into this because I have never.
It's really, really nicely done. and if you like that sort of very particular older style of cross stitch, it's really nice. For other like fun versions, I've also done blackwork cross stitch, which basically blackwork it's all back stitching. So it's a very different look and feel
Very different.
as compared to your traditional cross stitch. But I really loved doing it like the one time I did it, though I didn't do it in pure black. I did a black to red gradient on it. It looked really cool.
Oh, that sounds really cool. I did one.
Yeah.
I guess it was last year for so there's something in the stitching community called stitch-alongs, where somebody designs a pattern and then they release bits and pieces of it at a time. So last year I did a blackwork stitch-along, but it also was not only red or only black. It was a bunch of different colors. It was like potions and stuff like that. I still need to frame that one.
So cute. Have you ever done I had to make sure I pronounce it Hardiger style?
No. What is that?
That's the one. That's one where you actually do cutouts on it. So you actually you actually like create like holes in the fabric.
Huh. Okay.
It's really cool looking. I mean, like I said, I always feel like I you know, I get into something and then like I learn like way too much about it.
Yeah. Yup.
Yup. What's the Italian one I'm thinking of? Oh, Bargello embroidery. Which again, if you've never seen it, it's gorgeous. And I just want to do this. Anyway, get into fiber crafts, y'all.
Yeah, fiber crafts, there's so much to them, and there's so many different like variations and stuff, and the different skill levels, and you know, like a lot of beginner cross stitches. Like I'm doing a lot of the 3/4 stitches because I wanted those kind of angles, but a lot of the beginner stitches you just have to do the X's, and it's, you know, it's an X. You stitch an X. Oh my gosh, I got a big knot. Oh no, I was talking.
Oh no! Oh no!
Okay, did I? Okay, I fixed it. We're good.
Hooray!
Easy fixes. We love that. But no, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. In this hour and a half, I've been pretty convinced to look at cross-stitch kits. I've decidedly put a couple of carts, and it's, well, actually, speaking of which, we've hit exactly the hour and a half mark, so.
Okay. Well, in that case, let me unfold this. This is where I'm at so far.
Thank you for understanding exactly what I was looking for as far as progress.
So, this is we're getting there, you know. Let's see.
There's a shape there.
Yeah, there's a shape there.
Yeah, no, that's a very clear outline of that like angled. I forget the name, but the side of the cabinet.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I've been Aalaizah. I cross stitch. I stream sometimes. I don't know. You can find me on Twitch at Aalaizah, or Instagram at Aalaizah with 2 A's at the front because reasons. Yeah, that's pretty much me. Schala, what about you?
Yeah, I am SchalaKitty. My streaming stuff is up in the air at the moment because, as I mentioned, new job. But well, I can say that I will be part of one of our friend groups, Power Up with Pride. So that's gonna be fun, and I'll be doing emote art. But it is SchalaKitty at Twitch. It is also SchalaKitty on Blue Sky. If you would like to find me.
I would absolutely second go checking out the Power Up with Pride event, which is coming in June.
Yes.
Actually, around the same time as, speaking of which, our Lady Arcaders Out of Bounds Toronto event. So, if maybe you've got some time, couple monitors, put them both up on the screen. Support a great charity and also support Femmes in Gaming. But with that, thank you so much, Aalaizah and Schala.
Domino!
Domino!
Surprise doggo visit.
Yay!
Yes, give him pets.
Yes.
But no, okay, chat, we're taking the pets away from you because we're going to go to intermission for a quick few final announcements. But thank you so much, Aalaizah and Schala. It's been a lot of fun hanging with you for this episode. And keep an eye on our socials for the next time No Wrong Weft will be back, when next time we might be doing Pink Thread. All right, folks, and that was our second episode of No Wrong Weft by Aalaizah. If you liked that, then chat, I am so excited for you to come back the next time we have an episode of that, but you're going to have to keep an eye on our socials to see when that will be popping up. Now, you can find us at ladyarcaders.com, ladyarcaders.com on Blue Sky, and Lady Arcaders is our account on Twitter and I believe Instagram as well. So please give us a follow or, join our public Discord for those announcements as well. And as you've just seen here on Attract Mode, we do showcases of all sorts as long as they're game related. So if you've got some you want to send on over, we're scheduling for May. Right now. Yeah, I know May just started, but we've got the rest of the month to fill up. We've got June to fill up. We're so excited to be showing off your games. So head on over to ladyarcaders.com/start and hey, come volunteer with us while you're at it. You can handle behind the scenes. Shout outs to our amazing tech crew. You can be on the mic just like I am, but we want you to be part of our show. You can also find that at ladyarcaders.com/start. Now, at the end of our showcase, I mentioned Out of Bounds Toronto, our second in-person event. We actually just had a little placard on the screen talking about that. Is happening in mid-June, and we want you to be there. Now, maybe you're not in Toronto, and we're sorry to hear that. So you can come join us here at the twitch.tv/Lady Arcaders page to watch that stream. But if you are in Toronto, by the way, why not come join us in person? Tickets are on sale right now. Just go to ldy.gg/OOB2. I don't have a fun one like DMC for this, I'm sorry. But go there. It's $20 Canadian for a day, and I believe $38 Canadian for an event pass. This is a 2-day event. We've got some fantastic gamers showing off some wonderful games, and we'd love to see you in person at the Society Clubhouse in Toronto in June. So come on over, go buy a ticket. That's ldy.gg/OOB2. But of course, we will continue to have some more fantastic showcases. Next episode, that's this Sunday, May 4th, we have The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. French horn percent? Yeah, you heard me. French horn percent. 8129 is going to be performing Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, that SNES classic, while playing on a French horn. And I hear that there are going to be 3 different performances happening in this showcase. So you're not going to want to miss that. Make sure you tune in 2 p.m. this Sunday, May 4th, 2 p.m. Eastern, here at Lady Arcaders on twitch.television. I have been Zokubun, your host for this episode of Attract Mode, and we're going to take you to another fantastic femme streamer here on Twitch. So stick around for our raid. Thank you for watching, and have a great night.